All right, excellent.
So we're ready, Guadalupe? Okay.
We definitely are. You can go ahead and take the floor, Dean Brooks. We want again, everyone, if you can already, please go ahead and put your cameras on if you have not yet, and we will give the floor over to New Brunswick, the Rutgers University program and the EOF program. Miss T's tongue is all rolling all over. There you go, Dean Brooks. Go ahead.
Well, it's on Annette from admissions.
Okay, thank you, Dean Brooks. And yes, my name is Annette Medeiros. I am from the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Rutgers, New Brunswick. So hello, it's great to be here with you today. I'm going to be sharing my screen and I have about a 20-minute overview presentation. So I'm going to get started with that. And that should be coming up. Should be coming up now.
It's there.
Okay, great. Okay, terrific. Let me just get myself ready here. Okay, well, again, yeah, my name is Annette Medeiros and I'm from the recruitment team at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. I do a lot of different things, but one of my areas that I'm responsible for is the recruitment of transfer students. So I know I've heard from some of you probably already, but you know, I'll definitely give you my name and email address before the end of the program. I'm definitely your contact person at Rutgers, New Brunswick, if you do have any questions about the application process. Okay, so we do like to know who we're meeting with. So if you could copy and paste this link into a browser and just give us your name, there's just a couple of fields we're asking for. We would really appreciate it. It also enables us to continue having a conversation with you. We can continue sending you information about the admissions process, invitations to visit our campuses, participate in different events. So again, if you could just take one moment to copy and paste that. I'm going to leave this slide up for a minute. And while I do, I'm just going to talk a little bit about visiting. Right now, you're probably aware, Rutgers University in New Brunswick, we are 100% virtual. So all of our classes are online. And most of us are working from home. And so our tour program, which is usually really, really robust and in person, has shifted to being 100% virtual. So if you are looking to learn more about Rutgers and visit us this spring, do go to our admissions website, click on the visit link. There are lots of different ways that you can visit us this spring. I also just want to mention that we do intend as a university to be back on campus in the fall for in-person learning and to also have our residence halls almost full to capacity again. So we are looking to be back on campus in the fall. And so if you're applying for 2022, I anticipate that we will be having in-person visiting programs again in the fall as well. Okay, so a little bit about visiting and what you can anticipate if you're coming to Rutgers this fall, that we will be back on campus. Okay, so Rutgers is big in a lot of different ways, right? First of all, our student population, much bigger than Hudson County College. We have about 36,000 undergraduate students in New Brunswick. And we are also in the Big Ten Athletic and Academic Conference. So a lot of people are familiar with the athletic arm of the Big Ten, as well you should be. You might be aware that our Rutgers men's and women's basketball team both made it to the NCAA tournament this year. So there's a lot of excitement about that. But the Big Ten is also an academic conference. And so students can take advantage of some of the resources, academic resources, study abroad resources, to name just a couple, that our sister Big Ten institutions offer. So it is an athletic and an academic conference. Rutgers is also big in that we are the leading research university in the state of New Jersey. You can see 175 plus research centers and institutes in New Brunswick. That is, just a tremendous amount of research opportunities for our undergraduate students. So because we have so much research going on, about 60% of our undergraduates will engage in a research project before they graduate. So when you're looking to write that resume or you're looking to submit an application for graduate school, how great would it be if you could also include, a research project as part of your portfolio? It's also just another great way to develop a relationship with a faculty member, outside the classroom, and to really kind of dig into an area of interest. So Rutgers is a huge research university, and it does provide a lot of opportunities for our undergraduates to engage. We are also very proud of being the most diverse school in the Big Ten Conference. That's diversity in a lot of different ways. We're, ethnically and culturally diverse. We're religiously diverse. We're geographically diverse. We have students from all over the United States at Rutgers, and we have students from more than 100 different foreign countries enrolled at the university. So just a tremendous amount of diversity. It really is, kind of a small version of the world being at Rutgers, New Brunswick. Another population that we have is a very large population of first generation college students. About 32% of our students are the first in their families to go to college. So if you're among that crowd, I know I was when I went to college, you have a very large supportive community to be a part of. And then to support all of the cultural, groups and groups that we have on campus, you'll find that 100 cultural organizations and 5 cultural centers at the university as well. So we are committed to access at Rutgers. And a big part of that is providing financial access. So I'm really proud to say that more than 77% of Rutgers undergraduate students do qualify for financial aid. So of course you do have to file the FAFSA or the NJ-AFA if you're a New Jersey Dreamer to be eligible for state aid. But yes, about 77% of our undergraduates will qualify for a financial aid award. We are committed to providing access to students and making sure they have the support and the tools to succeed. So a couple of examples here on the screen, the Stokes Alliance. We'll start with that one. So if you're a student who's interested in STEM, the Stokes Alliance works to increase minority participation in the STEM fields by providing academic and specialized advising services. So benefits to participating in the Stokes Alliance include opportunities to engage in paid summer research programs, travel funding to attend research conferences, to just name a couple of things. The Are You First initiative, I just mentioned a moment ago that about 32% of our students are first generation. And so Are You First provides intentional support to help first generation students graduate. So that includes providing academic advising, support services, leadership experiences, and EOF grants if you qualify. The McNair program assists underrepresented first generation and or low income students in the process of applying to and succeeding in a doctoral program. So if you're interested in going on for a doctoral degree, you'd want to take advantage of the resources offered by the McNair Achievement Program. The Paul Robeson Success Institute allows students to move into our residence halls 3 days early, meet their peers, and work with faculty and staff on developing skills and academic support through assigning short-term and long-term goals. And then looking at the Rutgers Collaborative Center, one of the big parts of Rutgers University's mission is to participate in community service and to give back to the community. And the Collaborative Center is a mentoring program that allows our undergraduate students to give back to youth from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. So students have the ability to work in school districts as a mentor and even to earn an 18 credit certificate in youth mentoring. And then just in general student support services, you'll find that there's a lot of tutoring and advising services, at Rutgers as well. If you are someone who identifies as a dreamer, you're a DACA student, or you're covered by TPS, I just want to make you aware that you can apply for the Dream.US scholarship. You would have to be in the United States by November 1, 2015. This year, the scholarship is closed, but if you are applying for 2022, just note that the scholarship will be open on November 1, and the deadline to apply would be February 2021. You can see it is a very significant amount of money, $29,000 towards a bachelor's degree. So again, it's all part of that trying to be accessible, making Rutgers accessible for you. And yes, we do have a very robust EOF program. I love these pictures. And Dean Brooks is going to talk more about the services provided in her presentation. We're just going to take a big kind of look at the map here, take a macro view, see where we are in the state of New Jersey. We're about 45 minutes south of you in Jersey City, 90 minutes by train to Philly, about 45 minutes by train to New York City. So, I mean, you guys are in New Jersey already. You kind of know that New Jersey is home to a lot of Fortune 500 companies, multinational companies, or about 1,000 of them are headquartered here. So there's a lot of employment opportunities in the state. There's a lot of internship opportunities available in the state. And then, of course, you know, being so close to New York and Philadelphia only enhances your opportunities for employment opportunities and internships. So then let's just take a moment to zoom in on our campus. Rutgers in New Brunswick is kind of unique. I'd love to be able to ask how many of you have been on campus, but I can't see you at the moment. There are actually 5 individual campuses that make up the New Brunswick community. And each one of these campuses is kind of like a separate neighborhood. Every campus is unique. But at the same time, students are welcome to travel freely between these different campuses. You can see the campus bus here peeking out behind the word Douglas. We have a very, very well-developed transportation system, and our students easily move between our different campuses. So, you know, every one of these campuses is its own community, has its own dining hall, student center, recreation center, residence halls. You know, every campus has everything that you need on it to succeed as a student. But at the same time, you as a student may take classes on different campuses. You may go meet a friend on a different campus. You can eat in any dining hall. Everything is open to you as an undergraduate student. And I really think that this 5 campus structure just makes Rutgers endlessly interesting and dynamic and very diverse. It really provides like a very unique environment. I'm just going to take a moment to step through the campuses just to give you an idea of what each one represents. We'll start with our Bush campus. The Bush campus is home. It's a very STEM-oriented campus. And so Bush is going to be home to our schools of engineering and pharmacy, but also the School of Arts and Sciences has a lot of its STEM programs on Bush, including chemistry and physics, computer science, mathematics, the Department of Life Sciences, and the psychology program are all headquartered on the Bush campus. There's also a lot of our research, STEM research centers are located on Bush. But you'll also see the golfer. We have our 18-hole golf course on Bush, our Olympic-sized swimming pool, our football stadium, and our soccer and lacrosse stadium. So a lot of our athletic facilities. When we jump on over to Livingston, Livingston is where you're going to find the School of Business. The School of Arts and Sciences also has a lot of departments headquartered on Livingston. Baseball, basketball, wrestling, gymnastics, track and field are all on Livingston as well. When we cross the Raritan River, now you're on College Avenue, which is the historic home of Rutgers. I'd love to see you and ask, you know, does anybody know what year Rutgers was founded? But I can't see you. So I'll just tell you that we were founded in 1766, which actually makes us the 8th oldest school in America. We actually predate the American Revolution. So on College Avenue, you'll find some buildings that date to the 1800s. It's a very pretty, very historic campus, but you'll also find some of our newest buildings on College Avenue as well. So it's a really nice mixture of the oldest and some of the newest. Academically, the School of Arts and Sciences, the School of Communication, the Blaustein School, the School of Social Work, and the Graduate School of Education. And then the nursing school is a couple of blocks off of College Avenue. You can see how close the train is to New York. And then you're in downtown New Brunswick, which is like having another college campus at your disposal. New Brunswick is a great small city. It's a real college town. It's got a really lively theater district, lots of restaurants. And also one of our schools, Mason Gross School of the Arts, it has its visual art and digital filmmaking programs located in the heart of downtown New Brunswick. When you come out on the other side of New Brunswick, now you're on the Douglas campus. Douglas is a residential college for students who identify as women. So all of the housing on campus is for women only, but it's much more than a residential experience. Douglas is a program that nurtures women, that supports women, and helps them to succeed, providing leadership opportunities, networking opportunities, mentoring, a lot of STEM-focused research opportunities. So Douglas is really just a comprehensive program to help women succeed and to support women. Also on Douglas, the School of Arts and Sciences, the remaining departments for Mason Gross. And then adjacent to the Douglas campus is the Cook campus, which is home to the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. Some really interesting, unique majors offered at SEBS, including our animal science pre-veterinary program, our agricultural studies program, food science, nutrition, a lot of different majors in environmental sciences, just to name a few of their unique programs. So hope you have a little bit of an overview now. If you are looking to take a tour, again, we are virtual this spring, but you can go to our admissions website, and we are actually offering a virtual bus tour, which is live narrated by one of our Scarlet Ambassador tour guides. So even though you can't come to campus, we're going to bring the bus tour to you online. Okay, I think we're going to skip the video. Oh, I'm sorry, I went too far. Oops. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let's just take a moment to talk about the different schools at Rutgers that you can apply to. So the 7 schools that you see in red, you can apply to coming from Hudson County College. On the bottom row, the Blaustein School and the School of Management and Labor Relations. Those 2 schools do accept applications from transfer students, but only if you're coming in with an associate's degree. Okay, so you have those 2 schools if you have an associate's degree, and then the schools on top. So of those 7 schools on top, the School of Arts and Sciences is by far our largest school, about 21,000 undergraduate students. More than 70 of our majors are offered at SAS. So you have your life sciences, your humanities, foreign languages, cultural studies, just a huge array of really interesting majors, minors, and certificate programs. The remaining schools are all what we call professional schools. So they're all going to be much smaller than SAS. Their majors are going to be much more specialized. And oftentimes, for admission purposes, some specific courses are going to be required if you're interested in transferring to any of the professional schools. So for example, for the pharmacy school, it is a 6-year school at Rutgers. You leave with a PharmD degree. It's a graduate level degree in pharmacy. If you're coming in as a transfer student, we want you to come in with your associate's degree, and you will have needed to take certain prerequisite pre-pharmacy courses. Engineering and business are both considered the #1 public schools for those areas in the metro area. The engineering school has 10 different major departments with lots of different majors. The business school, 6 different majors to choose from. Mason Gross is our fine and performing arts school. You do need to present a portfolio or audition if you're interested in applying to the Mason Gross School. We've already talked a little bit about SEBS and some of their interesting programs, unique programs. And then the School of Nursing. It's our smallest school with about 400 undergraduates. The only program that a transfer student can apply for is the RN to BS program. So you do need to be coming to us from Hudson with either a diploma or associate's degree in nursing, plus you need to anticipate getting your RN license prior to enrollment at Rutgers. So again, some specific requirements for the professional schools. When you apply to Rutgers, you can apply to up to 3 schools on one application form. So you can apply to any 3 of the schools you see here, except for the School of Communications or the School of Social Work. So you can apply to any 3 of the schools. Knowing that you're in Jersey City, you might also be interested in the Rutgers Newark campus. And you can actually apply to Rutgers Newark and Rutgers New Brunswick on the same application. Every school has different admissions criteria, so it is possible to be admitted to one school and not another. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. So a little bit about learning at Rutgers. We do have a 16-to-1 student faculty ratio, but that doesn't mean that every class has 16 students in it, right? But we are very proud of the fact that about 60% of our classes do have 30 students or less. So I think that would probably really mirror the experience you're having at Hudson County College. And then looking down below, of course, one of the main reasons people are going to college is to hopefully have a nice employment opportunity at the end, or maybe go on to graduate school. And we have a career success and exploration center that works tirelessly with our undergraduate students. So if you come into Rutgers and you're not sure yet what major you want, you can take advantage of many of the services offered by the Career Center. You can join a career cluster. You can attend workshops. You can meet with faculty. You can meet with advisors at the Career Center. So there's lots of different ways where you can learn more about yourself and also learn more about the programs, the majors we offer, and also different careers that you may want to prepare yourself for. So the Career Center is there for you if you need to choose your major. They're there for you if you're looking for an internship. And of course, they're there for you when you look for a job. So they have 2 mega internship and career fairs every year where they bring about 650 employers to campus every year to meet individually with our students at these big fairs. We have an 84% placement rate. So once students graduate within 6 months of graduation, 84% of students are employed full-time or in graduate school. And I'm just going to wrap up by just kind of going over a little bit more information about the application process. So first of all, if you're thinking of applying for fall of 2021, just know that even though the priority due date of February 1 has passed, we are still open and we are still accepting applications to all of our schools for fall of 2021, okay? You would access the application either at the admissions.rutgers.edu website or at the Coalition for College website. In addition to the application, you do need to submit your college transcript from Hudson and from any other schools you may have previously attended. There is also a $70 application fee or a fee waiver. We will accept the waiver from you as well. You can see the due dates on the right-hand side. So if you're thinking about applying for 2022, know that the application will become available sometime in August of this year. And you should plan on applying by October 1 if you're interested in starting at Rutgers in January. If you're interested in fall of 2022, we encourage you to apply by February 1. And that's it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Dean Brooks. Thank you. You're on mute.
Okay. Thank you, Annette. And it's our turn. I am going to introduce the 2 SAS EOF staff members. They are our transfer counselors in addition to other students, but they do the transfer interviews, and you will interview if you are interested in EOF with SAS. You will be interviewing with one of us, and you'll see that later on, and you'll hear about that later on in the presentation. First, we have Miss Melissa Henry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dean Brooks. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Henry. I am an SAS EOF senior counselor.
Zena.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zena Jubilee. I'm the EOF manager at the School of Arts and Sciences at Rutgers.
Okay, and now we will go into our presentation. And remember, questions in the chat. And We will try to keep it short so that we can cover as many questions as possible. Okay, Rutgers overview. I know Annette covered a lot of this, so I will just tell you that the schools where you see, whoops, where you see professional, where you see professional schools, the first 6, School of Communications, the School of Social Work, the Blaustein School, Mason Gross School of the Arts, School of Management and Labor Relations, and RBS, the Business School. We are the umbrella EOF program for all EOF students at those schools. So if you are going to any of those schools and are interested in EOF, you would contact SAS EOF, just so you know. Okay. Next, I would like you to know that we are the largest EOF program in the state, 1,200 students. And that, again, comprises all of the schools that we talked about. And while there are 4 campuses, the 2 main campuses for the SAS EOF program are on Livingston and College Avenue. So your assigned counselor will be on one of those campuses. And we take you just like they do at Hudson. You will be with that counselor from the time you enter until the time you graduate. And for the record, TNT stands for Transfer and Non-Traditional Students. So we will always say TNT, just so and we want you to know what that means, okay? Now, degree requirements, you'll hear a lot more about this. I believe, Melissa.
Thank you. Sina?
Yes.
You can go back one slide. Okay,
perfect.
Thank you. It's okay. If you are graduating from your community college with your Associates of Arts or Associates of Science degree, you are fulfilling the core requirements for the SAS, the School of Arts and Sciences at Rutgers University. If you are graduating with your Associates in Applied Science, you can still qualify to fulfill most of the core requirements at the university, but it will not be the full 60 credits. And this is why we encourage our transfer students to finish their degree at their community college and then transfer to Rutgers, because you will be transferring a full 60 degrees, 60 degree credits, which will fulfill your SAS core, i.e. your general education requirements. So your math, your science, your history courses, things like that. And those are all things that go towards your 120 credits for graduation. Rutgers University SAS is made up of over 100 majors and minors, and you can go onto the website to look at the list and see exactly what you might be interested in. And additionally, your 120 credits, in addition to your 60 credits from your associate's degree, which are your free electives and your major courses, it will also be made up of free elective courses to help you to graduate effectively with 120 credits. So after you have finished your community college, you will be getting your EOF transfer form from your transfer counselor at your community college. And you will send that transfer form over to admissions as well as over to us in SAS EOF. After you have submitted your transfer form and you have paid your acceptance fee to the university or have received a waiver because you were an EOF student, you will have access to the enrollment pathway at the university. For the enrollment pathway, you will have access to everything at Rutgers University in general, including a way for you to upload your immunization, as well as STAR Day, which is the university's orientation for transfer students. After you have access to your enrollment pathway, you will also schedule an interview with us, SAS EOF, to let us know that you're intending to come to the university so that we can interview you, get to know more about you, and collect financial information. As I mentioned, STAR Day will also be accessed through the enrollment pathway, and that is the orientation for transfer students. Please ensure that you have sent over your transcript to the university once accepted so that they can do an effective transfer credit evaluation to ensure that you are getting the course credit for the classes that you've taken and passed with at least a C grade. Additionally, you will be attending an EOF transfer workshop where we will orient you with all things Rutgers as well as all things EOF, and ensure that we connect with you to guide you through your time at Rutgers University on to graduation. very important. I'm sure Dean Brooks will emphasize this even more, that you also make sure that you complete your FAFSA. So if you are starting at Rutgers University in the fall of 21 or spring of 22, please ensure that you complete your FAFSA for 21-22, and please ensure that you're following up with any state documentation that you need to do. And if you are a DACA student, please ensure that you are completing your NJ-AFA application. For Rutgers University EOF, you will go through a financial verification process to ensure that you qualify for the program. All these information will be accessed through your Rutgers email address. So please make sure that you're submitting all required documentation for the Office of Financial Aid as soon as you receive notification. Please ensure that you're checking your status frequently and you are responding to all emails from the Office of Financial Aid as well as SAS EOF.
Okay, so for those of you who are EOF students or EOF eligible, you will be assigned an EOF counselor once you get into Rutgers. And just like Hudson, you'll be required to meet with your EOF counselor at least once a month. If you are on probation, you will be required to meet with your counselor at least twice a month and only twice a semester if you're in good academic standing with a 3.2 GPA or higher. Also, all of our students are required to attend at least one pre-approved workshop or event per semester, as well as attend any academic services or support services that we recommend that you will discuss with your counselor on your one-on-one appointments. As an EOF student, also, you have the privilege and opportunity to obtain a bachelor's degree at Rutgers with the support of people who have your best interests at heart, and that's your EOF staff and your counselor, who is always your first point of contact. We provide you with all the necessary resources that will promote student retention, as well as your progress towards graduation, which is the goal. You will have access to all the support services that you see listed here that are available to help you succeed at Rutgers. Specifically, we will help you and you will receive personalized advising and counseling to assist you with exploring and resolving all your academic, your financial aid, your career, any personal issues that arise as you take this journey. However, it is up to you to take advantage of these opportunities and to make the most of them, as we know you will. So with that, we will now open it up for questions for both admissions as well as the EOF program. I will stop sharing so I can see what's in the chat. I do want to mention, Ms. Annette, I don't know if you saw, the students were having problems with the link. When you fill out the link, it doesn't submit, it gives an error. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
We know that. Okay, thank you. Thanks for trying, guys.
Hello. And if there's nothing in the chat yet, I can say a few things. Do you see anything in the chat?
I think we have one student, okay. Ms. Reem.
Yeah. Hello, how are you? So I have a question. I already applied for Rutgers New Brunswick and Rutgers Newark. I sent my unofficial transcript. My application showed that it's still in process, even that I already paid the fee. Then I sent everything that I have. I was trying to do a Pharma D program from high school, but I couldn't. So I'm doing right now an associate degree in biology. I'm gonna graduate in May with 3.98 GPA. So just the question, will be possible to do like 3 pharmacy classes like for the next year and then go to the Pharma D program, like the 4 professional years, or do I have to finish a bachelor degree first, for example, in Rutgers, New Brunswick?
So we do allow students to transfer directly into the pharmacy school from the county colleges. Did I understand that you're getting your associate's degree this spring?
Yeah, I have a 69 credits. I am already taking like an extra classes such as the organic chemistry 1, because okay. I saw that it's required for the Pharma D program.
Yeah, so yeah, pharmacy is like our most competitive program for admission. So I think everybody who's being evaluated for potential admission will also have an interview as part of the process. And so that just, those determinations are still being made. So yeah, as long as you're looking at your status screen and it's showing that your file is complete, it's just going to be a little bit of a matter of time. We promise to notify everybody who's applied by February 1. We promise to notify you no later than April 15th.
And we do have students there are some students who do transfer, for example, from SAS into pharmacy. It's very competitive, extremely, as Annette said. But there is the possibility of making that transfer. Again, you would be meeting, we would tell you to meet with the advisor in pharmacy just to see what classes you should be taking while you were at SAS. If you came in through SAS, just so you know.
So yes, so I'm missing like kind of like 8 classes for the requirements for the pharmacy school. So it's possible to take them at Rutgers New Brunswick and then after them take the BCAT and start the pharma program, right? I don't have to do like a bachelor degree.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Annette.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I guess that's possible, right? I mean, she could do a school-to-school transfer. So if she's coming in with an associate's degree, she's got 2 years done. She's talking about doing a whole nother year at Rutgers and then applying for the PharmD or the professional years. So yeah, Reem, I do think that's possible. I don't know if that makes more sense than just getting a bachelor's degree and then applying for, can you apply for the PharmD just by it? No, it's just a 6-year PharmD, right? Okay. You could apply for graduate programs though, yeah.
Reem, I will also say that what you have, the reality is that of those 8 classes that you still need, how many will be open when you go to register? That's what you have to think about, because they're probably, you know, almost all of them will probably be upper division science and math courses. And those classes usually have a smaller attendance. They have a smaller number of students. So realistically, you need to think, are you going to get all of those classes while you're here? And I would like, you know, I tell you that I want you to know this up front. I don't want you to be blindsided and come in and say, oh, I wasn't able to get my classes, but I was told I could do this. So that's just something else to consider. Yeah, but if you could contact the, you know, are you EOF, Reem?
Yeah.
You should contact the EOF program in pharmacy. Dr. Nancy Cintron, she is the EOF director there, and just Cintron if you look up her name, and tell her that, you know, that Dean Brooks at SAS said that you should talk to her about the transfer process there. But yes, yeah, she would give you more inside information. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Looks like we have I'm sorry, another question. What is the required GPA to be accepted?
I'll let you take that in.
Yeah. So the required GPA really varies from school to school. And then, as I said earlier, some of our schools require specific prerequisite courses as well. So in New Brunswick, the 2 schools that are the most flexible in admission for transfer students would be the School of Arts and Sciences and the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. And both of those schools are looking for typically about a 2.8 GPA, you know, or higher overall. But, you know, we don't just look at the overall GPA. We're looking at like everything you've done from semester to semester. What courses have you taken? Have you repeated several courses, you know, a couple of times? We don't recalculate GPAs, but we certainly do take note if certain courses are repeated over and over again. So we're looking at that, you know, pattern of what you've taken. We tend to put a lot of emphasis on that last semester before you apply. So if you were applying for fall of 2021, we would be looking at those fall 2020 grades, and we don't want to see any D or F grades in that last semester. We don't want to see any kind of significant downtrend, in that last semester right before you're applying. And then the last thing about that would be remedial courses. It's okay if you had to take some remedial courses at Hudson in math or English, but you cannot be taking them currently when you apply. So again, if you're applying for fall, if we see on your transcript that you're taking remedial math or remedial English, that would be a red flag to not, be able to admit you. So again, looking at what you're taking and the patterns over time. And then specifically, the engineering school, the business school, the pharmacy school, nursing, looking at, specific courses. I would encourage you to be using NJ Transfer, njtransfer.org. If you go on that website and you use the transfer programs link, you can put in that you're coming from Hudson and you want to apply to the School of Engineering, for example, and it'll tell you exactly what chemistry, exactly what physics and calculus courses you should be taking at Hudson so that you're competitive for transfer. The business school, I just want to mention this one because people going to get tripped up by the business school. So applying to the business school in New Brunswick, we're going to want to see a 4-credit pre-calculus course or a 4-credit calculus course. One or the other is required for admission. So again, NJ Transfer can tell you exactly what course to take. And then again, overall at our professional schools, typically about a 3.0 GPA or higher. So.
Okay. We have another question here. Can I only take the classes at Hudson that are required for animal science field to transfer it? Or will it be accepted at Rutgers, for it to be accepted at Rutgers, or do I need an associate's degree from Hudson to transfer to Rutgers?
Okay, so
did I get that right?
Classes that are required transfer. Do I need an associate's degree? So you don't need an associate's degree to transfer. So a transfer student is somebody who has at least 12 college level credits. So, you can transfer after one semester at Hudson technically, right? If you have at least 12 college level credits. And then, other students will stay and get their associate's degree. And as it was mentioned earlier, if you get your associate's degree in an AA or an AS degree, we're bound by law, right, to give you 60 credits in transfer. So you're, could be starting with the credit amount as a junior. And I say the credit amount as a junior because, for something like animal science, I am not familiar with what Hudson offers. Okay. But it's not very common that community colleges offer, animal science. So if you go to NJ Transfer and you do the transfer program for animal science from Hudson to the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences, there may be several courses that are noted with an asterisk. There may be, which would indicate that there's courses that a Rutgers student would take that you are not able to take at Hudson because they don't have an equivalent course. So, in that situation, you may think, do I want to stay until I get my associate's degree? So you have to evaluate that. You'll get the 60 credits, but maybe you'll really be a sophomore, like academically, like where you are in the program, right? So the professional majors are a little bit, they're more specialized. When you're coming into the School of Arts and Sciences, just so you know, there's no specific courses besides wanting to see English composition completed. There's no other specific courses that we're looking for, and we don't admit you into a major. So if you apply for criminal justice or you apply for computer science, you're going to be admitted to the School of Arts and Sciences. You're not going to be admitted into the major itself. You'll declare your major once you're a student at Rutgers.
Thank you. Is the Rutgers EOF program all online? Dean Brooks?
All online. No, we don't offer courses, so we're not all, if that's what you mean in terms of all online. The plan is for us to be back on campus in the fall. That's the plan right now. So we will be just as Hudson, I'm assuming, will be in the fall. In person, we do counseling, but we do our advising in person. We do offer the option sometimes for doing it through Zoom or WebEx or another platform, but it's pretty much in person and not online.
Is it better to apply for transfer before graduating? I think we kind of answered this, if I want to get my associates. And how about accounting 1? I don't think that part of the question was that answered. How about accounting 1?
So accounting 1 would be one of the pre-business prerequisite classes that you could take if you're applying to the Rutgers Business School. Okay, there's 6 prerequisite classes altogether. We typically want to see at least 2 of them completed, 2 to 3 completed, so when you apply, you don't have to have all 6. So accounting would be one of them. Again, I would go to NJ Transfer, and I would either use the transfer programs link or the find course equivalencies link to look up that one course to see how it transfers to the Rutgers Business School.
I know Hudson offers grants such as the CCOG. Does RU New Brunswick offer any grants similar to those?
No, CCOG is only for the community colleges. We found out at another transfer fair that the state is considering something for the 4-year schools. I don't know when that would happen, but no, there isn't a similar program. There's a supplementary educational opportunity grant, but every college has that, but nothing that similar to CCOG.
But if you are a PTK student at your community college, if you have a 3.8 GPA and are part of that program, you can actually transfer your PTK to the university. Make sure that you do it within your first couple of weeks of being accepted. You notify them that you're PTK, and that is a grant that can continue with you at the 4-year school. Additionally, if you're NJ Stars, that can also come over to your community, to your 4-year school as well. So NJ Stars, PTK, those grants, you've worked hard to earn them, might as well transfer them to Rutgers as well.
So I'm losing it. On NJ transfer for the ecology and natural resource major, it says there are 2 biology classes I must take at Hudson, but I'm unable to locate the second one in our course catalog.
Go ahead, Zena.
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe you should work with the EOF counselor at Hudson, but
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
For many schools, the Rutgers Bio Department you'll need Bio 1 and 2 to be equivalent to Bio 1 at Rutgers. It won't be equivalent to Bio 1 and 2 at Rutgers. So usually when they say that you need the two courses at your community college, it means for it to be equivalent to Bio 1. Now, if Hudson, again, if you find out that Hudson is not offering that, then the course may come in as an elective, but it won't come in as equivalent to Bio 1. But you'll have to work with your advisor there.
Mm-hmm. Or in some cases, you'll have Bio 1 and it won't come over as an equivalent because the university requires both to come over as 1 and 2, because we don't know at what point Hudson may stop, at what topic or content. So they require the whole course, Bio 1 and 2, for both Bio 1 and 2 to transfer. And that just depends on which community college. And I'm not sure what Hudson's is, but that's also the case as well. Do I have to pass the praxis before applying, or is it something I can do while attending? What does the school offer students that are currently enrolled in Phi Theta Kappa?
You do not have to pass the praxis ever. Yeah, that's something to get into graduate schools of education, and even our graduate school of education no longer I believe that it's the praxis, or you can take some other exams, so it's not necessarily required. So yeah, not required for admission.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. On my application, I did not include another college I attended, though it was for a short period. Will this be a problem even if I send both transcripts from the colleges I've attended?
So yeah, Christian, that's fine. So please do send the transcripts from all of the colleges that you've attended. We will just add that college to your profile. So yeah, please go ahead and do that so that you could potentially get, you know, credit for those courses. And then you write, how can I send my transcripts? You should get in touch with your school. I think typically you get in touch with the registrar at your school and ask them to send your official transcript to Rutgers. And I'll put the email address in the link right now. You would send it to transcripts@admissions.rutgers.edu. So you have your school send an official transcript to transcripts@admissions.rutgers.edu.
I appreciate it, and I thank you very much.
You're welcome, Christian. No problem.
Is a transfer to Rutgers guaranteed if you maintain a 3.0 plus GPA? And if not, what are some things I can do to increase my chances of getting accepted?
Yeah. So we kind of touched on this a little bit already, you know, that we don't just look at that final number GPA, but we're looking at the whole transcript. And sometimes, you know, sometimes a 3.0, you know, doesn't look as strong when we see that, you know, there's been 6 Fs along the way that got retaken. And so the Fs aren't in your GPA, but they're still on your transcript, right? Like, so we see all that, right? We're not recalculating, but we see all that. Another thing that can trip you up, and again, why NJ transfer is so important, is specific courses. So like, you know, like I said, you could have a 3.5 GPA, right? You could be a really great student and applying to the business school. But if you don't have that pre-calculus, the 4-credit pre-calc, or the 4-credit calc, if you don't have that course, you're not going to be admitted. So our professional schools are looking for specific courses. So it's more than just a 3.0 is definitely where you want to be. It's a good place to be, but I can't say like you're guaranteed, you know. Okay.
If I'm an honors student, can I take honors classes at Rutgers?
You could apply to when we say honors program, we could mean 2 different things. Within departments, there are honors programs. So that would be up to the department. There is also an honors college. And I don't know about, Annette, do you know about transfers getting into honors college? I think that's just for you have to go into the freshman.
Just for students coming out of high school. Freshman.
But I know SAS has an honors program.
SAS
yes,
does.
Yes.
And I think transfer students do have I think depending on how many credits you're coming in with, I think you have the possibility of applying for that.
Yes.
And then as you said, the departments themselves have
yes.
programs that you might be able to do some honors work in your junior or senior year through your department.
And if you were part of their honors program, you would have the designation on your transcript when you graduate, I believe. Yes.
Okay.
My major is business administration, but I plan to change my major to finance at Rutgers Newark. How many credits Rutgers would likely accept as a transfer student for finance major?
Well, Hassan, this is another time when njtransfer.org, njtransfer.org. Go to that website. There's also a transcript evaluation function. So as long as you have your Hudson transcript in front of you, what you can do is you can enter all your classes, all of your grades, and then at the top, it'll say RTP evaluation. Click on RTP evaluation, and then you'll select your major, which is finance. And then it'll give you an instant unofficial credit evaluation for that program. Okay. So as we were saying before, you know, if you're coming in with an associate's degree, you'll get 60 credits. But if you want to see more specifically how those credits will transfer, then definitely do use the transcript evaluation function at NJ Transfer.
And this might be our final question. How do I obtain a fee waiver for the application?
So yeah, actually, yeah, I would say go see your EOF counselor. They will likely be able to provide you with a fee waiver. You can also go online to NACAC, NACAC. Just type in NACAC transfer fee waivers, and then it'll bring up the fee waiver. You can print that out. You can have people sign it electronically. But if you qualify for a Pell Grant, you're automatically eligible for the NACAC fee waiver. And if you don't qualify for Pell, but you meet certain income qualifications that are on the form, you can qualify for a fee waiver as well. So yes, I would start with your EOF counselor if
yes,
you're in the EOF program, and then on that NACAC website.
Because the EOF transfer form that you're giving to admissions is the entree into receiving the waiver. So as long as you have that for EOF, for the application fee.
I'm sorry, the transfer form does not waive the application fee.
No, the EOF piece, where they have to submit an EOF, a transfer form that indicates they had prior EOF.
That's
now,
correct.
The transformation form comes directly to the EOF program, just to show the difference between the two. I know that was one of our last questions, or the last question. If I could, do you see any more, Zena? Because I wanted to say a couple of things.
No, I don't see any more questions. I do, when you're done, like Annette, to address the link, what students should do, because they're not able to submit your link. And then, yes, I turn it over to you, Vicki, and then we can turn it back over to
a few things, because again, I don't like you to be blindsided when you come to Rutgers. The transfer, the EOF eligibility review at Rutgers is a rigorous review. And I just want you to be prepared for it. Rutgers looks at you as if you've had EOF before, they're going to ask for certain documents. They're not going to make a decision until they get all of the documents. So you really need to stay on top of looking for what they're asking for. We know for fiscal year 21, and correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa or Zena, that they will be asking you for, if you've had EOF at Hudson, they will ask you for your IRS tax transcript for 2019. Not your 1040, not the summary of account, but the tax transcript for 2019 for yourself, and if you're dependent from your parents. You can get those now. It's 2019. Get them sent to you. Do not send them to Rutgers until Rutgers asks for it. Do not send anything to Rutgers Financial Aid until they ask for it, because they will delete it. They are dealing with too many documents coming in to accept and hold documents. But it's something that you can get now from the IRS. Secondly, we just received a note this morning from the president saying that the vaccines were going to be required for incoming students, especially those living on campus. I imagine no for everyone, because you'll be attending classes. So just so you know, as soon as you can get them, get them. There will be some exemption, but for most of you, you will have to have the vaccine. Lastly, if you're planning to live on campus, 90% of you, or 99% of you, will have to take out loans. It's not like at the community college where your Pell, TAG, and EOF and CCOG will cover everything. And that's a big shock when you come to Rutgers. You will incur loan debt guaranteed for that's guaranteed for at least 90% of you. So just know that up front. And that's pretty much all I had to end with, but Zena, you wanted to talk about the link.
I wanted to talk about.
You wanted to talk about a link?
Oh no, I wanted to know if Annette could address the link that students are having trouble submitting.
Yeah, you know, I looked at it and the form does come up,
Right.
and I really don't know why it's not submitting. So it's a loss for us because I'm not able to collect the information. So sorry. Yeah.
Can you send, does it open for any of the EOF staff at Hudson? Does it open for you? Because it's something that.
Sure, Dean Brooks. Let me look. Is it the one that was just sent in the chat earlier?
Yeah, it was put in the chat and it does open.
It opens, you can fill it out. I actually filled it out, and when you try to submit, it gives you an error message. So
that's right,
it's something on the submission part.
Is it something that they can send to you as a group? If the program sends that information, if they could fill it out and they could give it to the program?
Yeah, I mean, if students, if someone in the EOF office wants to kind of gather the first names and last names, email addresses, and the potential like date of entry into Rutgers, 2021, 2022, that's all we're really looking for. So yeah, if someone in the EOF office is able to collect that and then just email it to me, I just put my name and email address in the chat. We could then work on, you know, getting them into our prospect data.
So what I'll do in that is EOF, all scholars that are here for EOF, please go ahead and contact me via email. Provide me that information that Miss Annette is asking for, so that way I can forward that over to her in case if you do not have her contact information. So once again, as Miss Annette just mentioned, provide your emails to me, your first and last name, and then the entry if you're looking to apply for fall 2021 or spring 2022. So that way we can go ahead. And as Annette just mentioned, thank you, Miss Rosie, thank you, Miss Annette. The information is there. Just go ahead and forward it over to me via email. That way we don't lose anything here in the chat.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Dean Brooks. All right, so if there's no other questions, EOF, HCCC scholars, is there any other questions before we go ahead and wrap up? If not, I want us to give a great, immense applause to incredible Rutgers University New Brunswick staff, both EOF and Rutgers New Brunswick. So let's go ahead and give a round of applause. You can unmute yourselves. Put those clapping emojis up. I want to see them all. Yes! Thank you so much for your time today. Awesome.